Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our hit Atlanta-based sports show. This is the PlayGrid Sports Podcast. Boy, howdy, we have a great show for you today. I'm Kennedy Lucas, and alongside me is my broadcast co-host, David Blanks. Okay, so here's a wild stat to kick things off. The Golden State Valkyries, in just their second season, have already jumped 8 spots in ESPN's WNBA Power Rankings. They're now sitting at number 2. That's a massive leap for a team that's still figuring out its identity.
That's a huge jump, especially considering all the offseason drama they've had. I mean, their draft day trade of Flau J. Johnson to Seattle was controversial enough, but then they cut Marta Suarez, the player they traded for. It's like they couldn't catch a break with the headlines.
Exactly. And the timing didn't help either. When teams don't explain their moves right away, it just fuels speculation. Eventually, their GM, Ohema Nyanin, said it was about maintaining cap flexibility, which makes sense in the long run. But for fans, it's hard not to feel like they lost out on a promising rookie.
And then there's the Kate Martin situation. Cutting a fan favorite is always tough, even if it makes sense from a roster perspective. But here's the thing. None of that off-court drama seems to have affected their on-court performance. They're 2-0, and they've been dominant.
That's what's so impressive. They opened their season with a 91-80 win over Seattle and followed it up by beating Phoenix 95-79. And Phoenix, by the way, had just taken down the defending champs, Las Vegas. Janelle Salon has been a standout, scoring 20 and 21 points in those games. And Veronica Burton, she's been ridiculously efficient, 29 points, 18 assists, and just 1 turnover across 2 games.
That kind of efficiency is rare, especially this early in the season. And let's not forget about Kayla Thornton. She was their breakout star last year until a knee injury sidelined her, but now she's back and already making an impact. She's put up 32 points and 11 rebounds in their first 2 games.
And Gabby Williams has been a great addition, too. She's one of the league's top defensive players, and she's already contributing on both ends of the floor. It's amazing how much depth this team has built in just 2 seasons. But let's zoom out for a second and look at the league as a whole. The New York Liberty are sitting at number 1 in the power rankings, and they've been just as impressive.
Oh, absolutely. Breanna Stewart is already in MVP form. In just 2 games, she's racked up 54 points, 19 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 blocks. And she's doing all this while key players like Sabrina Ionescu and Satu Sabali are out. It's scary to think how good this team will be when they're fully healthy.
Their season opener was a statement, a 106-75 blowout over Connecticut. Then they followed it up with a gritty overtime win against Washington. That kind of versatility, being able to dominate one game and grind out the next, is what makes them so dangerous. And they've got back-to-back games against Portland coming up, which should give them a chance to build even more momentum.
Speaking of Portland, they're one of the 2 new expansion teams this season, along with Toronto. The Fire had a tough start, losing their home opener to Chicago, 98-83. But what's interesting about them is their global roster. All 5 starters are from different countries: Australia, Canada, France, Germany, and the U.S. It's a cool reflection of the league's international appeal.
It really is. And while they're still finding their footing, you can see the potential. Bridget Carlton, their most experienced player, had 13 points and 4 assists in that game. They've got a long way to go, but it's exciting to see how they'll develop. On the other hand, Toronto had a closer game in their debut, losing 68-65 to Washington. Marina Mabre was phenomenal with 27 points, but the team shot just 27% from the field. That's not going to win you many games.
No, it won't. But let's get back to the power rankings. At number 3, we've got the Dallas Wings. Their guard play has been electric. Arike Ogunbowale, Paige Bwickers, and Odyssey Sims combined for 62 points in their opener. And Jessica Shepard nearly had a triple-double with 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. This team is going to be so much fun to watch.
They really are. And with Azzi Fudd, the number 1 overall pick, joining the mix, their ceiling is sky high. Moving down to number 4, the Phoenix Mercury. They had one of the most impressive wins of opening weekend, taking down Las Vegas 99-66. Jovana Nogic, the Serbian newcomer, has been a revelation, scoring a combined 35 points in her first 2 games. and Alyssa Thomas. She's doing Alyssa Thomas things. 39 points and 20 rebounds over the weekend.
Phoenix has the talent to compete with anyone, but consistency will be key. At number 5, we've got the Atlanta Dream. They rallied for a 1-point win over Minnesota thanks to Alicia Gray's 24 points and Angel Reese's game-saving block. Reese also had 14 rebounds in her debut. She's already proving to be a force on the boards.
The Dream have a great mix of veteran leadership and young talent. At number 6, the Las Vegas Aces. They had a rough start, losing by 33 points to Phoenix in their opener, but they bounced back with a dominant win over Los Angeles. Trinity Carter, who didn't play last season, looks like she's back in a big way. She had 10 and 22 points in her first 2 games, shooting 66.7% from the field.
The Aces have all the pieces. They just need to put it together consistently. At number 7, the Chicago Sky. They spoiled Portland's home opener with a 98-83 win. Camila Cardoso was a standout with 22 points and 14 rebounds, and their new look starting lineup all scored in double figures.
It's impressive how quickly they've gelled, especially with so many new faces. Skylar Diggins, in particular, was phenomenal. 21 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. If they can keep building on this chemistry, they'll be a tough out. At number 8, the Washington Mystics. Their young stars, Sonia Citron and Kiki Iriafen, delivered in their first 2 games. Citron had 43 points, and Iriafen added 32 points and 28 rebounds.
Washington has a bright future with that core. At number 9, the Minnesota Lynx. They lost a heartbreaker to Atlanta, but Olivia Miles shined in her debut with 21 points and 8 assists. And Emma Sichova, the 21-year-old from the Czech Republic, looks like a promising talent.
The Lynx are in a bit of a rebuilding phase, but they've got some intriguing pieces. At number 10, the Indiana Fever. Their big 3 of Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, and Aaliyah Boston combined for 73 points in their opener, but their defense let them down in a 107-104 loss to Dallas.
Defense is definitely an area they need to address. Caitlin Clark, though, what a debut. She's going to be must-watch all season. At number 11, the Seattle Storm. Flaw J. Johnson, the rookie they got from Golden State, is off to a solid start, and Dominique Malonga is showing why she was last year's number 2 pick.
Seattle's in a transition period, but they've got some exciting young talent. At number 12, the Los Angeles Sparks. They got blown out by Las Vegas in their opener, and Cameron Brink, the number 2 pick from 2024, struggled, but Kelsey Plum and Nneka Ogwumike showed they can still produce.
The Sparks have some work to do, but there's potential there. At number 13, the Toronto Tempo. They lost a close one to Washington in their debut despite Marina Mabry's 27 points. Shooting just 27% from the field isn't going to cut it, though.
Agreed. At number 14, the Portland Fire. They've got a truly international roster with starters from 5 different countries. It's a cool story, but they'll need more time to mesh. And finally, at number 15, the Connecticut Sun. They're 0-2, and it's not the start they wanted in their final season in Connecticut.
It's a tough start, but Anissa Morrow has been a bright spot. So looking at all this, what stands out to you the most?
For me, it's the unpredictability. Teams like Golden State and Phoenix are shaking things up early, and it feels like the power rankings could look completely different in a week. What about you?
I'm with you on the unpredictability. It's what makes this league so exciting, and with so many young stars stepping up, the future of the WNBA looks incredibly bright.
Couldn't agree more. Here's to another thrilling week of games.
Hello everyone, Rachel here. If you're just now joining us, this is the PlayGrid Sports podcast presented by Amazon Music. So here's something wild. Did you know that the Tampa Bay Rays have one of the lowest payrolls in baseball, but they're already looking like one of the most dangerous teams in the league this season? It's like they're running a baseball masterclass on a shoestring budget.
That's exactly what makes them so fascinating. Every year, they manage to defy expectations, and this season is no different. But they're not the only ones surprising everyone. The Cardinals, Pirates, and White Sox are all off to hot starts too. It's like the 2026 season decided to flip the script on us.
Right, and what's so interesting is how different these teams are. The Rays are the perennial overachievers. The Cardinals are rediscovering their identity. The Pirates are finally fun again. And the White Sox, well, they're the wild card. So let's break it down. Starting with the Rays, how do they keep pulling this off?
Well, it's all about their system. The Rays have built this incredible developmental pipeline that just churns out talent. Their bullpen is already looking dominant, and their lineup is doing what it always does, manufacturing runs without relying on big-name sluggers. It's like they've perfected the art of efficiency.
Exactly, and what's so impressive is their consistency. This isn't some fluke. It's the result of years of smart decision-making. They're always ahead of the curve, whether it's defensive positioning, player matchups, or even how they manage their pitching staff. But, you know, there are some red flags too.
Oh, for sure. Their batting average with runners in scoring position is unusually high right now. And historically, those numbers tend to come back down to earth. Plus, injuries are always a concern for a team that relies so heavily on depth. Do you think they can sustain this?
Honestly, I think they can. Maybe not at this exact level, but the Rays have earned the benefit of the doubt. They've proven time and again that they know how to adapt over the course of a season. I wouldn't bet against them being in the playoff conversation come September. What about you?
Same here. If there's one team that's built to handle the grind of a 162-game season, it's Tampa Bay. They might not win their division, but they'll be in the mix. All right, let's move on to the Cardinals. What's your take on their start?
The Cardinals are such an interesting case. They've been stuck in this weird limbo for the past few years. Not bad enough to rebuild, but not good enough to contend. But this year, it feels like they've finally found their groove again. They're pitching well, they're playing solid defense, and they just look sharp. Like they've rediscovered what Cardinals baseball is supposed to be.
Totally. And what's really standing out to me is their pitching efficiency. Their starters are keeping pitch counts low, limiting walks, and going deeper into games. That's huge over the course of a long season. Plus, their situational hitting has been on point. They're not relying on random offensive explosions. They're winning with fundamentals.
Exactly. And you know what? That makes them feel sustainable to me. They're not just riding a hot streak or getting lucky with a few big games. This is a team that's playing the kind of baseball that holds up over time. But there are still questions, right? Like, can they generate enough power against elite pitching? And what happens if their bullpen gets overworked?
Those are fair questions. And let's not forget the health factor. They've got some aging veterans who need to stay on the field for this to work. But here's the thing about the Cardinals. They've always been one of the most fundamentally sound organizations in baseball. If anyone can figure it out, it's them. I wouldn't count them out.
Same here. Betting against the Cardinals has a way of backfiring. All right, let's pivot to the Pirates. Now, this is a fun story. Pittsburgh hasn't been relevant in years, but suddenly they're playing with this swagger and confidence that's just infectious. What's your take on?
Oh, I love what's happening in Pittsburgh right now. This team is young, fearless, and finally fun to watch again. Their rotation has shown flashes of brilliance, their lineup is aggressive on the bases, and defensively, they're looking faster and more disciplined. It's like they've flipped a switch.
Totally, and you can feel the energy around the franchise shifting. For so long, Pirates fans have been stuck in this endless cycle of rebuilding, but now it feels like they're finally turning a corner. This team believes it belongs, and that's a big deal.
It is, but let's keep it real. Young teams are roller coasters. They're going to have some brutal stretches. A 10-game losing streak could come out of nowhere and derail all this momentum. Plus, they don't have the kind of depth that more established contenders have. Injuries could expose them quickly.
True, but even if they fall short of the playoffs this year, the foundation they're building feels real. This doesn't feel like a fluke. It feels like the start of something bigger. And honestly, baseball is better when the Pirates are good. PNC Park during meaningful games is just magical.
Couldn't agree more. All right. Last but not least, let's talk about the White Sox. Now, this is the wild card of the group. Unlike the other teams we've discussed, the White Sox don't have that same level of trust built up. They've been underachieving for years, so it's hard to know what to make of their hot start. What's your take?
Yeah, the White Sox are tricky. On one hand, they're clearly playing more disciplined baseball this year. The energy feels better. The pitching has stabilised and some of their younger players are finally stepping up. But on the other hand, we've seen this before. They've had promising stretches in the past only to fall apart by mid-season.
Exactly. And when you look at the numbers, there are some red flags. A lot of their offensive production looks unsustainable and their bullpen still feels like a question mark. Plus, their defense has been inconsistent. It's hard to fully buy in when you've been burned by this team before.
Totally. But you know what? Even if this doesn't turn into a playoff season, the fact that they're showing signs of progress is important for a franchise that's been stuck in a rut. Just looking competent again is a step in the right direction.
Agreed. So let's zoom out for a second. If you had to rank these teams in terms of how real their hot starts feel, how would you do it?
I'd probably go Rays first, Cardinals second, Pirates third, and White Sox fourth. The Rays and Cardinals just feel the most sustainable to me. The Pirates have the highest upside, but they're also the most volatile. And the White Sox, well, they're still a question mark. What about you?
I think I'd rank them the same way. The Rays and Cardinals have the track record and the fundamentals to back up their starts. The Pirates are exciting, but young teams are always a gamble. And the White Sox, as much as I want to believe, still have a lot to prove.
Exactly, and that's what makes baseball so fascinating, right? Regression is coming for everyone. It always does. The question is, who can adapt? Who can survive once the league adjusts to them? That's where the real season begins.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And honestly, that's why I love this game. Every day, every series, every month brings new twists and turns. By the time September rolls around, we might be talking about a completely different set of teams, but for now, these four have given us plenty to think about.
Absolutely. Here's to a wild and unpredictable 2026 MLB season. Let's see who's still standing when the dust settles.
Cheers to that.
Welcome, everyone, to a special edition of Courtside Insights. I'm Marcus Thompson, and today we're breaking down what promises to be one of the most thrilling Final Fours in NBA history, the 2026 NBA Conference Finals. This year, it feels like a genuine collision between basketball's storied past and its electrifying future. Four exceptional franchises are standing just a few wins away from the ultimate prize, the NBA Finals. In the Western Conference, we're witnessing the explosive rise of the Oklahoma City Thunder against the disciplined resurgence of the San Antonio Spurs. Meanwhile, the Eastern Conference promises pure basketball theater, with the gritty New York Knicks facing the balanced and dangerous Cleveland Cavaliers. The stakes couldn't be higher. Legacies will be forged, narratives redefined, and stars will either rise to the occasion or falter under the immense pressure. This postseason has already given us incredible drama, buzzer beaters, and superstar moments destined for documentaries. But the conference finals, that's where true legends are made. Feeling the pressure of the big game? Get ready, because the action is heating up and you need to be prepared. Don't let anything hold you back when the moment strikes. Whether you're on the court, cheering from the stands, or just living life with that competitive edge, the right gear makes all the difference. This season is about pushing boundaries and demanding excellence, not just from the players, but from everything that supports you. You deserve to experience every game, every moment with peak performance and comfort.
Let's kick things off in the West, where the Thunder-Spurs matchup feels like basketball destiny unfolding before our very eyes. The Oklahoma City Thunder have truly arrived as basketball's newest powerhouse. Their journey, built through patience, smart drafting, and organizational discipline, now mirrors a modern dynasty in the making. Their offense moves with precision and pace. Their defense is relentlessly swarming, and their confidence has soared through the playoffs. At the heart of it all is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, calm, surgical, and impossible to rattle. He's become one of the game's most complete playoff performers. But OKC isn't a one-man show. Chet Holmgren has transformed into a unique two-way big. His shot blocking changes games, and his spacing is crucial. Jalen Williams continues to impress with his versatility. Across the court, the San Antonio Spurs, a franchise steeped in tradition, have rediscovered their identity behind Victor Wembanyama. He already looks like a player capable of dominating the sport for the next decade. Absolutely, Marcus. Wembanyama changes everything defensively. Drivers hesitate entering the paint. Shooters rush their release. Entire offensive systems are disrupted just by his presence. Offensively, he's terrifying with his handle, shooting touch, and length. San Antonio's real strength, though, is composure. That old-school Spurs culture still exists. The biggest question in this series is pace. Oklahoma City craves chaos, transition, quick ball movement, constant pressure. San Antonio prefers structure, patience, and half-court execution. Whoever controls the tempo will control this entire series. It's truly a masterclass in contrasting styles. Before we dive deeper, let's talk about enhancing your game day. Introducing Game Time Gear Pro, your ultimate companion for every single match, providing unparalleled comfort and support from tip-off to the final buzzer. Whether you're pushing your limits in a pickup game or simply seeking comfort for a long day, Game Time Gear Pro offers a distinct advantage. We understand that performance isn't just about skill. It's about feeling your best, reducing distractions, and having gear that moves with you, not against you. Elevate your experience. Elevate your game with Game Time Gear Pro.
Shifting gears to the Eastern Conference, the Knicks versus Cavaliers feels like classic playoff basketball reborn. This isn't just about stats, it's about heart. Defense matters again, toughness matters again, and every possession feels intensely personal. The New York Knicks have become one of the league's toughest teams, mentally and physically. Madison Square Garden has roared back to life, becoming one of basketball's loudest stages, and the Knicks feed off that energy relentlessly. They embrace ugly basketball if necessary. Loose balls, rebounds, hustle plays, second chance points, they live for it. Jalen Brunson continues to play with unbelievable confidence. His footwork, timing, patience, and leadership define his style, allowing him to control playoff games without overwhelming athleticism. His ability to take over fourth quarters has legitimately turned New York into a championship threat. This team is a reflection of its city, resilient, relentless, and refusing to back down from any challenge, making every single possession a battle to witness. Exactly, Marcus. On the other side, the Cavaliers may be the most balanced roster remaining in the postseason. Donovan Mitchell provides that explosive scoring punch we know and love, while Darius Garland brings creativity and pace to the offense. And defensively, Evan Mobley anchors the paint with elite versatility, changing shots and disrupting opposing offenses with ease. Cleveland can score fast, defend physically, and adjust strategically throughout games. One of the most fascinating aspects of this matchup is the sheer emotional atmosphere. Knicks fans have waited decades for a legitimate finals opportunity, and Cleveland still carries the weight of establishing a post-LeBron identity. Both franchises are desperate to prove something. We're going to see physical games, hard fouls, and defensive adjustments nightly. This series might not always produce beautiful basketball, but it will undoubtedly deliver unforgettable moments. Game Time Gear Pro isn't just gear, it's an experience built for winners. Our first appealing feature, advanced moisture-wicking fabric that keeps you cool and dry no matter how intense the action gets. Secondly, our ergonomic design ensures a perfect non-restrictive fit, allowing for maximum mobility and comfort. You'll forget you're even wearing it. And finally, Game Time Gear Pro uses incredibly durable premium materials, meaning your gear will last season after season, game after game, without losing its integrity or performance. These aren't just features, they're promises of quality and performance that you can feel and depend on every single time you step onto the court or into the arena.
Let's zoom in on some of the key players who will dictate the outcomes here. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander remains the player most capable of controlling an entire playoff series through his rhythm and efficiency. His ability to get to his spots, especially the mid-range, and dictate pace makes him incredibly difficult to defend. He plays with a veteran's poise and a surgeon's precision, making every possession deliberate. Then there's Victor Wembanyama, who could very well become the face of the NBA much sooner than anyone expects. If he dominates this Western Conference Final Series, the conversation around his legacy trajectory will instantly explode. For the Knicks, Jalen Brunson truly carries the heart of New York basketball. Every big shot, every gritty performance, every leadership moment strengthens his connection with the city. And for the Cavs, Donovan Mitchell likely faces the most pressure of anyone left in these playoffs. Cleveland needs him to consistently deliver superstar performances if they hope to survive the Eastern Conference Finals. These individual battles within the team battles are what make the playoffs so captivating. Indeed, Marcus. In the West, while the Thunder appears slightly deeper and more explosive offensively, the Spurs possess a championship composure that simply cannot be ignored. That experience, that calmness under pressure, is an intangible asset for San Antonio. This series feels destined for 7 grueling games, a true test of wills. Oklahoma City's athleticism and offensive pace may eventually overwhelm San Antonio late in the series, but it won't come easily. The Spurs will make them earn every single point, every single win. And in the East, the Knicks and Cavaliers are almost perfectly balanced. New York's toughness and home court atmosphere, especially in Madison Square Garden, could truly be the deciding factors. The Cavaliers might be more balanced offensively, but playoff basketball often boils down to resilience and emotional momentum. The team that can withstand the punches and deliver late, that's who takes the series. Both teams have valid pathways to victory, and it will likely come down to which star player can consistently impose his will over 7 games. Tired of uncomfortable gear that chafes, restricts, or distracts you from the action? Do you constantly adjust your apparel, losing focus on the critical play in front of you? Game Time Gear Pro solves this pervasive issue. We understand that discomfort is the enemy of peak performance. That's why we blend cutting-edge technology with player-focused design, ensuring every piece of gear is a second skin. Our innovative fabrics eliminate chafing, our ergonomic cuts ensure full range of motion, and our superior ventilation keeps you cool. With Game Time Gear Pro, you can focus purely on the game, on making that winning shot, or cheering your team to victory without a single thought about your gear.
All right, it's time for the moment of truth, our final predictions for these epic conference finals. Let's start with the West, Thunder versus Spurs. Who are you taking and why? I'm going with the Oklahoma City Thunder in 7 games. While San Antonio's composure and Wembanyama's generational talent are undeniable, OKC's depth, explosive offense, and relentless pace will ultimately be too much. They'll wear down the Spurs, especially late in the series. It'll be a hard-fought battle, but the Thunder's collective athleticism and scoring options will just edge it out. It's a tough call, but their youth and hunger are a powerful combination against even the most experienced teams. The momentum they've built throughout the postseason feels too strong to be stopped. A 7-game thriller in the West. I like it. Over in the East, Knicks versus Cavaliers. What's your prediction there? I'm taking the New York Knicks in 7 games as well. This will be the most physical series of the postseason, a true grind. While Cleveland's balance and star power are formidable, the Knicks' sheer toughness, their unwavering resilience, and the unparalleled home court advantage at Madison Square Garden will be the deciding factors. Jalen Brunson will have to deliver heroic performances, but the energy of the New York crowd, combined with their defensive grit, will push them over the top. Playoff basketball always rewards toughness, and the Knicks have it in spades. They've earned this moment, and they won't let it slip away easily. So, if those predictions hold, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at an NBA Finals featuring the Oklahoma City Thunder versus the New York Knicks. Talk about a dream matchup for the league. A young, modern powerhouse against basketball's biggest market, all under the brightest possible lights. The ratings would be insane, and the storylines would absolutely write themselves. It would be a testament to both patient rebuilding and gritty determination. The contrast in styles, the star power, the sheer hunger from both franchises, it's everything you want in a championship series. This could be one of the most unforgettable finals in NBA history. Don't miss out on peak performance. For a limited time, elevate your game and experience the difference Game Time Gear Pro can make. Visit GameTimeGearPro.com right now and get 20% off your entire first order. This exclusive offer is only available with code COURTSIDE20 at checkout. This special introductory discount won't last forever, so act fast to secure your cutting-edge gear. Imagine stepping onto the court or settling in for the big game with the ultimate comfort and support.
knowing you're ready for anything. The time to upgrade is now, before the final buzzer sounds on this incredible deal. Visit Game Time Gear Pro today.
What an incredible preview. Regardless of who ultimately emerges from these conference finals, one thing is abundantly clear. We are in for some absolutely unforgettable basketball. These series are more than just games. They are narratives being written in real time. We'll see players push their physical and mental limits, coaches make adjustments that could turn the tide of a series, and fans witness moments that will be talked about for decades. The pressure at this stage is immense, and it's where the brightest stars either truly elevate their game or, unfortunately, fade under the lights. Every possession, every timeout, every free throw will carry monumental weight. This isn't just a quest for a championship. It's a battle for legacy, for identity, and for a place in NBA history. I, for one, cannot wait to witness it all unfold. It's the beauty of playoff basketball, Marcus. The unpredictability, the raw emotion, the way a single moment can swing an entire series. Both conferences are stacked with talent and compelling storylines. The teams that can maintain their composure, execute their game plan under pressure, and get those crucial stops and scores will be the ones advancing. It's going to be a wild ride, and every single game will be a must-watch event. And it's going to be physical, no doubt. The grind of these series will test the deepest benches and the strongest wills. We're going to see players leave everything they have on the court, pushing through fatigue and injury for that ultimate goal. That's what makes the conference finals so special, the absolute desperation and the sheer will to win. It truly is the crucible where champions are forged, and I expect nothing less than maximum effort and drama from all four of these incredible teams. It's what fans live for, and these matchups are delivering on all fronts. That's Game Time Gear Pro. Remember, for ultimate comfort, unparalleled support, and the gear that truly elevates your performance, go to GameTimeGearPro.com. Use code COURTSIDE20 at checkout for 20% off your first order. Don't let anything hold you back from your best performance. Game Time Gear Pro. Elevate your game, experience the difference, and own.
Okay, so here's something wild. UCLA's baseball team is sitting at 46-5 this season. That's not just good. We might need to rewrite the record books good. But here's the thing. Being number one this late in the season isn't just about bragging rights. It's about becoming the measuring stick for every other team in the country.
Right. And it's not just UCLA. The entire D1 baseball top 25 is heating up as we hit week 14. Teams like North Carolina, Georgia Tech, and Georgia are all within striking distance of that top spot. And then you've got the middle of the pack. Oregon State, West Virginia, Florida State, making big moves at just the right time. It's like the rankings are alive, shifting and evolving with every game.
That's what makes this week so fascinating. It's not just about who's winning, it's about how they're winning. Oregon State jumping from number 10 to number 7, West Virginia climbing from number 15 to number 9. Those aren't just numbers, those are statements. And then there's the drama at the back end of the rankings. Coastal Carolina slipping from number 8 to number 20. Oklahoma State and Cincinnati breaking into the top 25. It's like the rankings are a stress test for every team's postseason hopes.
And the stakes couldn't be higher. The NCAA selection show is just days away on May 25th, and that's when we'll find out which 64 teams make the tournament. For teams like Kansas, Oklahoma State, Cincinnati, and Nebraska, this week is their last chance to make their case. One hot streak could save their season, but one bad series, that could be the end of the road.
That's the beauty of late May in college baseball. Every game feels like a playoff game. The better teams are chasing seed protection and home field advantage, while the bubble teams are just trying to survive. It's not science, it's survival. And that's what makes it so compelling.
And speaking of survival, let's talk about college softball. The NCAA tournament is already in full swing, and the regional round has been nothing short of electric. Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Tennessee, Florida, Duke, Texas Tech, Mississippi State. They've all advanced, and they're not just winning games. They're making statements.
Absolutely. Just look at Alabama. They dominated their regional, shutting out USC Upstate twice and Belmont once. LSU was just as impressive with back-to-back 8-0 wins over Akron and Virginia Tech. And then there's Oklahoma, Nebraska, Tennessee. These teams aren't just winning. They're sending a message to the rest of the bracket. We're built for this.
But it's not just about the blowouts. The regional round also gave us some incredible drama. Kansas stunned Michigan with a walk-off. UCLA had to fight off Cal Baptist in a nail-biter. Texas Tech erased Ole Miss with a comeback for the ages. It's the kind of chaos that makes you fall in love with college softball.
And now we're heading into the Super Regionals, which start on May 21st. These matchups are going to be must-watch TV. Tennessee versus Georgia, Nebraska versus Oklahoma State, Florida versus Texas Tech, Arkansas versus Duke, Oklahoma versus Mississippi State, Alabama versus LSU, Texas versus Arizona State, UCLA versus UCF. It's a lineup that feels more like a heavyweight card than a tournament bracket.
And the best part is, you don't have to go searching for these games. ESPN, ESPN2, ABC, and ESPNU have you covered. The Women's College World Series starts on May 28th, and the Championship Series will air on June 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's wall-to-wall coverage, no scavenger hunt required.
The bigger picture in softball is just as fascinating as baseball. This bracket feels top-heavy in the best way. Alabama, LSU, Oklahoma, Nebraska, Tennessee, Florida, Texas, UCLA. These are programs with serious postseason pedigree. But the regional rounds already gave us a taste of chaos, and you have to wonder if that's going to carry over into the later rounds.
So there you have it. College baseball. Week 14 is the final stretch before the NCAA field is locked in, and college softball is already deep into its postseason. The stakes couldn't be higher. For the players, coaches, and fans, it's a roller coaster. For the rest of us, it's must-watch drama.
And that's the beauty of May in college sports. It's not just about the games. It's about the stories, the elites trying to stay elite, the bubble teams fighting for survival, the one-run games that feel like they deserve their own documentaries. This is why we watch. This is why we care.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So grab your popcorn, clear your schedule, and settle in. Because whether it's baseball or softball, the next few weeks are going to be unforgettable.